Saint. The voice of the I Am is the mouthpiece through which the Ascended Master's instruction can reach the students quickly. That the most powerful work possible for America and the world may be done by the students to release the greatest light in the shortest time. It will also contain information as to where the accredited messengers, Mr. and Mrs. G.W. Ballard and son Donald, are teaching the Ascended Master's instruction on the TIM. Information. The information given under the heading of Young America will be the Ascended Master's help to the young people for their protection and illumination. As they are the builders of the new civilization and are the channels through which the Ascended Masters will give their light for the use of the outer world in the golden 1 a.m. age. This magazine is not an outlet for articles from the students, but is the outpouring of the help from the Ascended Masters and has no human concepts in it. The Sindelar Studios, 2600 South Hoover Street, Los Angeles, California.
Cyclopea is that great cosmic messenger from the great central sun, who for our earth has charge of and controls the activity of the all-seeing eye of God.
This great presence, by the outpouring of the great flame of divine love from his heart and the projection of mighty Los Angeles, California. This great presence, by the outpouring of the great flame of divine love from his heart and the projection of mighty light rays to humanity and the earth, awakens and expands the activity of the inner or true spiritual sight in the individual. The love which he pours out is the actual energy and substance from his Ascended Master body. He purifies and illumines the atmosphere of Earth by the focusing of gigantic light rays of pure electronic force, which he draws from the heart of the great central sun. This marvelous being comes from out the great silence at the beginning of each cycle, to pour out love and light that those activities may be intensified and expanded within the consciousness of mankind and the atmosphere of Earth. This Great One is the presiding being for the incoming golden or I Am age and is the protecting presence for America. That is the reason for the use of the symbol of the all-seeing eye within the triangle, forming the capstone to the pyramid on the Great Seal of the United States. This has just recently been put on the last issue of our $1 bills. The motto, A New Order of the Ages, has definite reference to the new civilization which is to come forth in America, of which Cyclopea is the great guarding cosmic master. Saint Germain is the authority for the activity of America in the service which she is to give to the rest of the world as the cup of light of the mighty I Am presence. The rays of light, which pour forth from the eye within the triangle at the top of the pyramid on the Great Seal, represent the actual outpouring from Cyclopea, for he sees in all directions and pours out his light and love wherever needed upon earth. From that eye nothing can be hidden, for that great presence sees all things, sees through all things, and sees perfection everywhere, forever. Through his mighty light rays pass the patterns of perfection for mankind and the earth, for they are registered within the consciousness of humanity and the atmosphere of earth, in forms of living light to be fulfilled in physical experience. The triangle on the Great Seal signifies the triune activity of Cyclopea, the silent watcher, and the great divine director, completing the work of building the new civilization in America and being its controlling intelligence, through their power of vision and light. These three great cosmic beings control the expansion of the light in its cosmic activity to our Earth as well as to our humanity. Saint Germain and those working with him control the expansion of the light through the Ascended Master activity, and all is being brought forth into amazing perfection through their combined activity to bless this earth and mankind forever. that all may express the same great glory, freedom, and perfection that they manifest. Cyclopea protects and guides our beloved America through cosmic activities. By the projection of stupendous rays of light, focused and poured through the great eye in the north wall of the great audience hall, in the retreat of the Royal Teton, as described in Unveiled Mysteries. Within that marvelous sanctuary is the only place on this planet where that activity takes place. Until 1932, this luminous being only came from out the great silence once in 100 years to give his great outpouring of cosmic light to our Earth. But since then, he has come forth once in 6 months and poured out his great release of love that floods the Earth with his light. This will continue for the next 100 years in order to hasten the perfection which must come into manifestation in our Earth on cosmic schedule. Those rays will illumine the consciousness and expand the light within the hearts of mankind everywhere. In appearance, this beloved Master is glorious and magnificent to behold. His eyes fascinate one by the tremendous light and power that shines out through them. But the wisdom and love that flow to the beholder brings such peace that one simply worships in silent adoration the mighty presence and intelligence that can be so celestial. Great streams of white lightning flash forth from his head, a ray of divine love blazes from his heart, and an intense radiance comes forth from the throat center. The garments he wears are transcendently beautiful, the jewels which adorn them being condensations of light that flash continually. The adorable presence of Cyclopea is tall, majestic, and godlike in every detail, the very embodiment of the limitless power of light and love, and the beholder realizes that he wields power and authority that could control a system of worlds. May the students of the mighty I Am Presence, America, and the world know more of this marvelous being of light and love, and be forever grateful for the gift he continually bestows so graciously upon all. Cyclopea, thou all-seeing eye of God! May the mighty I Am Presence bless thee forever with our limitless eternal love and gratitude for the transcendent service thou dost bestow upon mankind and this earth. Affirmation. Mighty I Am Presence. I do this instant accept the fullness of this for which I have asked. If there is any human obstruction in my consciousness, take it out forever. The ascended Master, Saint Germain, is that great glorious being who, in a former embodiment, was the prophet Samuel, mentioned in the Bible. He has labored throughout the centuries for the upliftment of mankind everywhere, and is now working intensely for the protection and illumination of America. Having made the ascension as Jesus did, he is now the great Master who has charge of the new civilization to come forth in America, for which he has worked unceasingly during the past 200 years. In the Middle Ages, he was embodied as Saint Alban and gave great service to the light, being martyred in that life and sainted because of his unselfish, fearless stand for the truth. His last embodiment was that of Lord Francis Bacon, who was the son of Queen Elizabeth by her husband, Lord Leicester, the Duke of Leicester being his brother. He worked continually in that life for the upliftment of England. But because of the intrigue at court and the activities of that age, his work was not allowed to reach the height which could have been attained had he been obeyed and his wisdom heeded. He did write the Shakespearean plays, and that is why there has always been the controversy concerning them. Throughout these plays runs continually the law of life for which he has always labored, and there are some 500 instances in which the acrostic of the name Francis Bacon appears in them. They also contain cipher code, giving the inner instruction of a school of initiates on the continent to which he belonged. He also wrote a book on cipher code, which is still the world's authority. The name William Shakespeare. under which he wrote the plays, signifies that it was the will of the I Am that he shake the spear of wisdom at the darkness of ignorance, which all through the centuries has been his special activity, for the blessing and illumination of every age in which he chose an embodiment. He was the one who inspired the people of Oberammergau to institute the custom of giving the Passion Play every 10 years, in gratitude to God for relief from the plagues and distress which had visited them in that locality. It is for this reason that students everywhere should understand that in no way are we trying to replace Jesus with Saint Germain. In the first place, who could? In the second, no ascended master ever does anything contrary to any other ascended master, for in the ascended state, all is one perfect divine activity, and the cooperation is one of deepest love and harmony. But the masters do not do each other's work, and each gives a service to our earth with which no other master interferes. Saint Germain loves Jesus very, very deeply, having done so all through the centuries, and because of his great devotion to the light and great perfection for which they both labor, he and Jesus are naturally working together now with the great cosmic messenger, known as the great divine director, to bring forth the permanent golden or I Am age for our earth. This begins with the new civilization that is destined to come forth in America. Jesus gave the public example of the ascension and made the living, pulsating, etheric record in the atmosphere of this planet, which stands as a magnet of light, drawing all mankind upward until they make the ascension also. In making this cosmic record of his ascension, he gave a service to our earth that no other master has ever given or ever will give. But Saint Germain, being the Lord of the seventh ray, which is the activity of the violet ray and the controlling directing intelligence for the new cycle of 10,000 years, is the great ascended master who has been chosen to work with the great divine director and Jesus to design and bring forth the perfection and new civilization that is to be the permanent condition on our earth in the future. Saint Germain illumined and raised his body in 1684, left England and the continent for many years, and went to the Himalayan mountains to work at the inner levels of consciousness. He returned to Europe in the visible, tangible, ascended body just previous to the French Revolution, and would have prevented it had the people listened to his counsel, but they refused to accept his wisdom and paid in suffering for that refusal. He has worked for America for the past 200 years, and he is the presiding master under whom she is to come to the fulfillment of her destiny as the Holy Grail or Cup of Light, from which the rest of the world will drink, now and in the future. America is the heart of this planet, and as the heart, she must be protected and illumined if the body is to survive. America must be the supply of light to the rest of the earth, until the changes which are to come have brought order and peace to the balance of mankind. Saint Germain's service is given by the outpouring of his light and love to the people of America and the world, and also through their conscious cooperation with the ascended masters, the angelic host and the legion of light, for these are very real, tangible beings whose love, light, and power transcend all human concepts. They are ready at all times to give without limit the fullness of their blessings and perfection to our earth, but mankind must make the call from the physical octave of life in order to open the way for their great perfection to flow into the daily experience of the individual. It is only in this way that humanity can become free from its misery, degradation, and limitation, because it must use its own energy to reach up and thus lift itself into the next octave of life in order to expand the light and perfection of the mighty I Am presence through its own self-conscious effort and desire to be free. The triple activity of the great divine director. Jesus and Saint Germain for America is a service in which every student of light can join. by giving them conscious daily recognition and calling the mighty I Am presence into action to charge everybody and everything in America with their limitless outpouring of light. Love, protection, and perfection to blaze forth with such irresistible dynamic power that nothing can withstand the mighty onrush of its glory, freedom, and victory. We ask all in America to make this call daily with intense sincerity and feeling, that all may receive the most powerful assistance possible in the shortest time.
Affirmations.
We ask every student under this radiation to use the affirmation for charging the energy in the gas belts with the Ascended Master's divine love, and the ones which call unto the great divine director for the protection of America, at least 3 times a day, putting great sincerity, feeling, and dynamic energy into the words as you think or speak them. They are as follows. Mighty I Am Presence. Come forth in thy infinite ascended master power and charge all the energy in the gas belts of earth with the combined divine love of the ascended host. The Legion of Light, the angelic host and great white brotherhood, in such dynamic power that nothing can resist the mighty onrush of its light and dominion, eternally self-sustained. Mighty Divine Director. In the name of the mighty I Am Presence, we call unto thee as never before to come forth in thy infinite power and release whatever light and activity is required. Even though it be that light as of 1,000 suns, to protect our beloved America with an invincible wall of electronic force, through which nothing can pass but the perfection of the Ascended Masters. 9. LL perfection and its manifestation depend upon and are the operations of the law of light. Students everywhere should spend definite time each day activity, acknowledging, accepting, loving, and being grateful to the mighty I Am presence for light, for all it is and for all it gives to them and the entire universe. It is the light within the physical body that enables the muscles to move, the blood to circulate, and its functions to be performed. It is the violet-white liquid light flowing through the nerves that enables one to raise his hand. It is the golden-white liquid light within the cells of the brain that enables intelligence to direct the movements of the body. It is the blue-white liquid light taken in through the breath that enables the lungs to move. It is the golden-pink liquid light within the heart that enables it to beat. It is light, which is self-luminous, intelligent substance that enables form to exist, and everything in human experience depends upon light, for without light, a universe could not be. When you visualize light, you give obedience in the highest 7 ways to the mighty I Am presence. You obey the first commandment. You accept the presence. You obey the law of love. You control the attention. You qualify everything with perfection. You do the will of God, and you refuse acceptance to human creation. When you call the mighty I Am presence into dynamic action to charge any person, place, condition, or thing with enough light, perfection is the result. When the light in the heart and the light in the head meets the light from the great central sun, which is one with your mighty I Am presence, then perfection is made physically manifest and is eternally self-sustained. Any imperfect condition in the mind or body is simply the lack of enough light from the presence to fill that place with the perfection of itself. For light is the manifestation of its perfection in and through the atomic structure of the individual and this earth. When the individual calls the mighty I Am presence into the physical octave to release its light into the body, whether it be the body of the individual, the body of the nation, or the body of the earth, that light moves in, and all conditions required to manifest perfection are released into dynamic action. Light simply illumines all with its perfection. It fills all with its substance and sets everything into divine order harmoniously, thus establishing love, peace, and happiness. People in the darkness, which may be physical, mental, or emotional, lose their fear when they reach the light. People lose their troubles when they use the light. People lose their limitations when they love the light. People lose all human qualities when they call the light of the mighty I Am presence into action, for light is the only thing they require in any and every activity of life. All individuals love to be out of doors, because the greater light from the sun contains that which makes them happy. They intuitively love and feel that they require it. Everyone in reality is seeking happiness, which only exists within light. In a country that is controlled by those who let the light rule, who love the light and who release that light into action, enabling the intelligence necessary for its direction to be the ruling power and maintain perfection, there is always abundance, success, and happiness for all. Then it is high time for all who want the constructive way of life in America and the world to wake up and understand this instruction of the mighty I Am presence, that they may release the light required to fill America and the earth with that perfection which is the divine plan for every electron, atom, individual, planet, star, sun, and system of worlds throughout space. Do you like to live in a room or house without enough light? Do you like to live in a country without enough light? Do you want to live in a world without enough light? Then it is you, every individual, who must call to God to flood the world with more light. Awaken now to the necessity of knowing the mighty I Am presence in its fullness, and call unto it with enough intensity to release its limitless light into everything you think, say, feel, and do, and blaze it forth at all times with such power that nothing can resist the mighty onrush of its perfection. We ask every person in America to consider himself a committee of one to get this ascended master understanding of the mighty I Am presence before the people of America and the world, that they may know the law of light and call it into action everywhere to produce perfection and set all free forever. Let us all call unto the mighty I Am presence, the ascended masters, the legion of light and the angelic hosts to flood all humanity, America and the world with a tidal wave of such dazzling light and love that it simply sweeps all with an irresistible outpouring of its mighty perfection and produces ascended master victory, miracles, freedom, and glory forever self-expanding. In the ascended master's infinite power of the mighty I Am presence, we bless you and enfold you forever in their eternal light, light, light. I am the miracle-working presence, the infinite great love flame. I am the miracle-working presence of the great God Self, I Am. I am the miracle-working presence conquering all by its great might. I am the miracle-working presence and the victory of light. The Ballards. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the ascension in the light. I am the open door which no man can shut. I am the presence that moves into action at the human call, and human creation and limitation move out without struggle. I am the presence, the only presence that ever acts. You are the qualifier that changes my perfection into human limitation and discord. I am ever pouring forth into your mind and body the fullness of my light and perfection. You, in your free will and qualification, are constantly requalifying my perfect energy into that which you do not want. Test me. Turn your face to me, your God, and let the light from my face so shine upon you that it dissolves forever from your mind, body, home, and world, every discordant thing which you have drawn about you through the centuries. I am the consuming flame that, when called into action, dissolves and consumes forever your miscreations. All, in the light and knowledge of these words, understand once and forever that you are not subject to retain your mistakes because they have been made. I am the presence that sets you free. I am the presence that must have your call to liberate and set free my mighty energy to purify and perfect your world. May these words be living fire in your consciousness that may never be forgotten, to set your world in order and free you from limitation of every kind. I am the presence that speaks. I am the presence that enables you to feel that the money you require for use is my gift and substance to you in the form of money, and when I give, the freedom of divine love acts. Then know that I am the only giver of all money that comes to you or ever will come to you. Therefore, when you call to me, I answer you through avenues you dream not of. You cannot be deprived of money for things to use when you call the mighty I Am presence into action, for I am the only intelligence that can act. I am the only power that can act. I am the enfolding light of divine love, forever active, that releases your requirements through divine love, forever sustained. F-A-F-I-R-M-A-T-I.
Affirmations.
Mighty I Am presence. Replace this by thy miracle-working presence of perfection forever self-sustained. Mighty I Am presence. Project around me your mighty protection and allow nothing to enter but your mighty perfection. Mighty I Am presence. By the power of the three, dissolve that condition. Take possession there forever, and fill all with thyself, whose limitless perfection is instantaneous and eternal. The word teton means mountain. The word teton means mountain of light, and it has come down through thousands and thousands of years unchanged from one of the earliest periods of Atlantis. Within this majestic giant of nature in our beloved America dwells a focus of light through the activity of the ascended masters that it is impossible to describe in words. About 2,000 feet down from the top of the mountain, there is located the Great Council Hall, wherein the great masters assemble and project their mighty rays of light and love over America and the earth, to consume and purify the vortices of force produced by the discordant and vicious activities of mankind. Within its sacred heart is the concentrated outpouring of light and love from the secret love star to our earth, and to whose mighty cosmic power of pure divine love no words can possibly do justice. Within its blessed heart is the limitless outpouring of the streams of electronic force that flow from the seven great Elohim of creation to the humanity of this earth. Within its mighty heart repose the ascended Master's gifts to the people of America and the world, already prepared to serve them in the transcendent perfection of the new age. Within its secret heart are safeguarded the only records on earth of civilizations of which the outer world has never heard and has no record at all. Through its dazzling heart pour the great rivers of light from the 12 great cosmic masters who control the expansion of light on this earth and through mankind. Into its blazing heart come the great beings from Venus, who are blessing our humanity with the power of divine love that is the supreme authority forever. The musical instruments that are to be used in the new age are already perfected and in use within the mighty chambers of this retreat. They are made of substances of which the outer world as yet does not dream. Their tone is exquisite and perfect beyond all human concept, and the new music is already written for the joy and blessing of the incoming activity. The new art is already prepared, designed, and ready to be given forth to the outer world at the appointed time. The magnificence, glory, and perfection of that which is to come forth in America, in the years just ahead, is so transcendent that all we have in the outer world today seems coarse and crude compared to the wonderful marvels with which the new age will be filled. Oh, beloved students of the ETAM! Many wonderful things are being transferred to America from the other retreats of the Ascended Masters throughout the world, that they may be preserved to bless mankind in the new cycle. When those glorious Ascended Masters from Venus visit the Royal Teton each New Year's Eve and the 1st of each July, they bring a transcendent activity of divine love and light to bless our earth and its humanity with unspeakable glory. 17. Oh, that the blessed I Am students and the people of the earth might realize the fullness of what this means to them and to all. It is divine, transcendent, glorious, and limitless in the outpouring of perfection which is released to earth in this manner. And we ask the students everywhere to let your hearts sing in ecstasy with gratitude to the mighty I Am presence for this celestial blessing to mankind. The blessed Ascended Master, Lanto, is head of the retreat of the Royal Teton, and we send to him and all who pour out their assistance through that activity our deepest love and gratitude for all eternity for their service to our earth. In the north wall of the audience hall in the Royal Teton is located the great all-seeing eye of God to our earth, and through this, the great cosmic messenger, Cyclopea, directs the almighty power of the ray of light which that great presence pours out to perform its gigantic service for our earth. Love, gratitude, and service to the light forever, in deed and action, is the only true way the student under this radiation can ever give even a slight return for all these great ones have given us. O mighty Royal Teton! We salute thee, thou Mountain of Light, thou dazzling temple of regal splendor and limitless love. We bless thee forever for thy mighty light. Affirmation. Mighty I Am presence. Make me feel your light coming through the flesh of this body, so dazzling nothing else can ever exist within it. 20.
Saint Germain's message, San Francisco afternoon class, February 14th, 1936.
So, do I ask? 20. So, do I ask you?
Beloved children of the light, this heart beats with yours so earnestly for your freedom, dissolving all limitation by the great light from within the heart. It is expanding with great speed during these 10 days, when it has been our joy and privilege to minister in our humble way, to increase and intensify your light, so establish and cause it to be an ever-expanding radiance within you.
So, do I ask you, beloved ones, to stand in and with the light of your mighty I Am presence, that you may continue with unabated assurance to go forward consciously into your eternal freedom, holding in your hand the scepter of divine power in the acknowledgement of your presence, cutting yourself free from all human accumulation that has been drawn about you through the ages, and in the power of that violet consuming flame. Consume everything less than the perfection of your presence, feeling and knowing the lightness of body, the freedom and clearness of thought, which the dissolving of your human creation brings to you. allowing the glory of your mighty I Am presence to flow in, through, and out into your world, perfecting and harmonizing everything. Then, in the fullness of the repeated description given you by the messengers, keep before you that mightiest of mental pictures, the chart of your mighty I Am presence, showing so clearly, accurately, and vividly your connection with your mighty I Am presence, that you may have the glory which it holds for you. As you continue to feel that glory, do you actually begin to ascend into the greater and greater perfection of that presence, whose ray of light and energy beats each heart? Make no mistake about it. Beloved ones, that chart is true and your eye picture, which is the reality. Held active within your consciousness will bring you into the eternal ascension, into the electronic body of the mighty I Am presence, forever free, eternally free from limitation. That is the journey for all mankind, and by man must be made. We offer you the privilege, the joy, and means by which you may obtain this. We offer it with the love of your mighty I Am presence and our ascended master consciousness to give you strength, joy, and the conscious ability to hold fast in the conscious acknowledgement of your presence, that you too may enter into that freedom which we experience. Then you extend your hands to the less fortunate, that they too may one day reach that state of perfection which is the goal for all mankind. Dear hearts, freedom and the crown of that freedom is at your door for your use. As definitely as if you took your scepter of dominion in physical form in your hands, by which you cut yourself free from the mistakes of earth, with your violet consuming flame, consuming them that they may no longer exist. Blessed hearts, as the law of your being permits, you will ever find us ready to be of added service. Call to us always, first to your mighty I Am presence, then to the ascended masters who have all power, authority, and ability. Today, for the first time in the history of the classwork, the Divine Director offers the privilege to you of calling to him and will, through the voice of the I Am, extend this great privilege to all students throughout America. The privilege of calling on the Divine Director is offered to the students, and to the degree that the law of each one's being permits, will he assist in setting aside human time for them, that they may more quickly enter into that freedom. This is a privilege and blessing which the outer cannot possibly comprehend. So, will you blessed ones accept this, as it is given you and the beloved students throughout America and the world? O blessed ones, how my heart longs to see you grasp the reins of dominion in the acknowledgement of your presence, and with firm determination call your presence into action with such invincible activity that naught can longer stand before you. It is no imagination. It is a great, wondrous reality which stands ready for your use, and as the beloved messengers have so lovingly endeavored to convey to you, stand as firm as the rock of Gibraltar, but stand serene and do not let the problems of the outer world frighten you any longer. To everything that arises before you, say, no longer have you power to disturb me, mighty I Am presence. Sweep into this condition. Dissolve it, replace it by your mighty perfection, and hold all in your world forever. The glory of that peace, dear hearts, is inconceivable. Call into action the invincibility of your mighty I Am presence, which is all good, money, health, and harmony. The presence holds all for you. If it needs to come through channels, the presence does this for you and brings everything into the channel of divine love. How great is our love for you, O divine ones! For in my ministry to America for so long, which is now coming into visibility through the students of the I Am, the fruition of this getting into action, can you imagine the joy of my heart? Beloved students, try to realize that my service for America is a divinely decreed activity, Not that someone else might not have done it as well, but the law of the ray under which I operate makes me the authority for its activity. All of the ascended masters, Jesus included, are working together with me for this great perfection that shall, must, and will come into action, for which America is the cup. Beloved, blessed hearts, the transcendent service which you can render in giving this message of light of the I Am to the young people of America and the earth is a service that is truly divine in both heaven and earth. Because that which is coming in now will come with the energy of the I Am, and will give such assistance as is inconceivable to the human mind at the present time.
So, beloved ones, I, in my humble service, ask you to give to the fullest of your ability your service to the I Am and for the freedom of America.
Do not let appearances dismay or disturb you. We are that great cosmic light which is pouring its activity to Earth. Try to take your mind off every political and national affair. Call your mighty I Am Pres. Ensigns into action with determination to produce in official places that light of God manifest through the personalities who are there, and ever to increase that activity through your call to the I Am. Then receive the happiness and joy that will fill America. I thank you. Saint Germain. H. Children of the mighty I Am Presence. In your search for light and freedom, it has been my great joy to bring to you the Ascended Master's understanding, standing, and application by which we attained our freedom from human inharmonies and made our ascension. If you will apply it with the same earnestness that we did, you will have identically the same results. These are great universal laws which cannot fail and only require your earnest application. In the acceptance of your mighty I Am presence, that actually rests above you and whose energy and light beat your hearts, hold your attention on that presence, for it enables you to give the needed application to free you from your human creation that has bound you so long. Beloved ones, can and will you believe me when I tell you that you have lived hundreds and thousands of embodiments similar to these? At last, the great cosmic law has permitted this unusual assistance to come into the outer world, for it has never been given before, except in the retreats of the world, and then only to a few. Under this beloved brother and sister, the messengers, the great cosmic law has permitted the secret of the ages to be broadcast, for your blessing and benefit, and for the freedom of mankind. Today, the privilege that stands at your door is unparalleled in the history of the earth. If you will harmonize your feelings, call your mighty I Am presence into action with sincere earnestness, the results are certain, unquestionable, and powerful. In the glory of that light, even in this week or 10 days which the messengers have been in your midst, pouring forth so earnestly their love, blessings, and radiance, has your light expanded tremendously. To me, it is very clear and definite, and I say that for your encouragement. Continue to hold your attention on the mighty I Am presence. Continue to cause that light to expand until its mighty radiance becomes visible in your human form, bringing the presence into action to bless you with its perfection. Do not be weighted down when you see mistakes have been made. Call on the law of forgiveness and set yourself free from them. Do not allow the outer consciousness to dwell upon them. Mighty I Am presence. Sweep out of my mind and body all imperfection that I have drawn about me through the centuries. Consume it. Cause me to think only of the glory which thou art. Release thy full power to flow forth in my world, to produce the perfection and beauty which I desire. Call your presence forth to silence, forever, all human activity about you, to silence the outer mind and cause it to be still. Call your mighty I Am presence into action to fill your cup, your human receptacle, with the fullness of that pure essence, unqualified by the discord of the outer world, that it may perfect and beautify your mind and body. Then, in that beauty, see, feel, and call your presence into action to prepare the way. To lift you into your higher mental body, and then into your mighty I Am presence, where you become the ascended being, where you are free, forever free from the limitations of earth. The earth is a mighty schoolroom, not an easy one, but in the activity of the mighty I Am presence, it becomes a divine one. Then we turn upon that which has been disturbing and say, "Is it possible thou didst once disturb me? Be thou gone, thou powerless human creation. No longer canst thou act in my world. No longer hast thou power to hold me in bondage. No longer hast thou power to bind the children of earth, for thy day is finished forever. Be thou dissolved and consumed in the violet consuming flame, and exist no longer." We are grateful, eternally so, that the great law has permitted this knowledge to come forth to bless you and enable you to have your freedom. May not in the outer world turn you from the glory of your mighty I Am presence. Stand and receive the glory of the freedom which I shall bring you. I say, shall bring you, for it is true, and in your attention to it, nothing can prevent the outpouring of the presence to glorify, beautify, and perfect your world. I decree that now, in the universal power of eternal light, mighty I Am presence, set the children of earth free forever from their human creation. Enable them to rise into the octave above, into that freedom of light where the power of the mighty I Am presence reigns supreme, unconscious of these conditions which have bound them. Beloved ones, my light enfolds you always into the fullness of your perfection, into the fullness of your freedom and ascension. Feel the radiation which I pour forth tonight and receive its mighty glory. As the law of your being permits, will I ever stand at your service to give every assistance possible, to enable you in the shortest time to free yourself, to know and feel the peace that passeth understanding, to walk in the light of your mighty I Am presence, whose light illumines your pathway wherever you move without artificial light. And unto that day, when you fully realize within your heart the freedom and dominion that it gives you, only through the power of divine love. Then can you understand, apply, and be the loving presence of your I Am manifest in your world forever. I thank you. Saint Germain. F-A-F-I-R. Mighty I Am presence. Come forth in thy infinite ascended master power and charge every policeman, fireman, aviator, postal employee, school teacher, and government official in America with Saint Germain's and Jesus's ascended master consciousness, protection, and perfection forever self-sustained. He conducting of study groups for I Am students of the ascended master, Saint Germain, must be carried on for the purpose of giving assistance to him in the work of protecting America and bringing the ascended master's illumination to mankind through their instruction and understanding of the mighty I Am presence. Their principal purpose is to enable the people of America to understand the ascended master's teaching and, through that, give the assistance which must be given if America is to have protection from the vortex of discord across the Atlantic and from cataclysmic disturbance. Therefore, it is absolutely imperative that no discussion of any kind ever be allowed to enter. the entire time and attention during the group meeting being held unwaveringly on the reading of the I Am discourses, the magic presence, unveiled mysteries, and the 1M adorations and affirmations. This is Jesus' own request because the need of the present hour is so urgent that unless the attention of the students is concentrated on the ascended masters and their channel of help, there will not be enough light released into the physical world and activity to give the protection required. It is also the request of Jesus and Saint Germain that those whose inner sight is open and who see what takes place during a group meeting refrain from telling others what they see, as each individual is expected to keep his personal experiences guarded within his own heart as a sacred, silent, secret gift to him. If this is not done, the blessing to him is lost, for when he tells his experiences to others, he releases their energy into the surrounding atmosphere, and hence he does not receive the help intended for him. Every student and group leader should at all times conduct himself as if Jesus or Saint Germain were present in the tangible body, and do only that which they know these great ones would do. All group meetings should be conducted in a manner that is intelligent, dignified, reverent, revered, refined, loving, and beautiful, that they may be the ideal of the ascended masters made real in the physical experience of mankind. We never, at any time, allow anyone teaching this work to charge a fee of any kind, and the individual who does so will not have the radiation of Jesus, Saint Germain, or any other of the ascended masters, for this work has been given as a glad, free gift of love from the ascended masters, and at no time is there ever to be a charge made for it. This is stated unmistakably plain in the discourses. For Saint Germain said in the very beginning that this teaching must never be commercialized for private profit, and we do not, never have, and never shall consent to anyone ever making a charge for it or using the students under this radiation for any commercial scheme. We ask all students to keep this activity free from all intrusion of those whose motives are selfish and commercial. In all study groups, the students must not be allowed to lean on the leader, but should assist the leader instead, to do the work for the protection of America and the illumination of all mankind, by pouring out peace and kindliness from his own mighty I Am presence. Being a leader of a group is not at any time for the exploitation of the personality of the leader. But it does mean that whoever takes the responsibility of a group must have enough love, patience, humility, purity, and self-control to help those who come into the group to dissolve their human creation and keep them encouraged until they have made their own application long enough to be thoroughly anchored in the use of the I Am. The leader should at all times realize that when Jesus, Saint Germain, and others of the ascended masters pour out their rays of light and energy during a group meeting, that it becomes the leader's responsibility to see that none of their energy is ever allowed to be clouded by discord or imperfection of any kind, for through a soiled consciousness their light will not pour. Therefore, before each meeting, the leader and students should use the violet-consuming flame with great intensity to purify the place in which it is held, and at no time should anyone ever be allowed to smoke in that place previous to or following the meeting. If anyone comes to the meeting with the odor of alcohol on the breath, they are not to be allowed to stay. The work done in the local study groups is different from that of the large classes which we, as messengers, are holding, for the local groups should be composed only of those who have decided to serve the light and America, and, by perfecting themselves, be able to give still greater service. Do not be satisfied with doing the best you can, but call your mighty I Am presence into action at all times to control you completely and forever produce perfection. Perfection is the goal and law of the ascended masters, and the I Am students of Saint Germain must become the living examples of their ideal made real in all physical activities. Group leaders should at every meeting open with an invocation. Read a discourse. Ask the students to visualize the various activities of the light rays for the protection of America and for healing, and spend some definite time adoring the mighty I Am presence and giving praise and thanks to it for all its marvelous gifts to the individual and the world. Never allow any questions to be asked during the reading of any of the books or interruptions to take place, because that breaks the stream of energy which is flowing through for the blessing that is to be received. Jesus has asked that all students under this radiation put aside everything else they have ever studied and enter into such close communion and companionship with the mighty I Am presence, that it will enable the ascended masters to give the greatest possible assistance and set all free forever in its dazzling light, glory, and perfection. Those who are not willing to fulfill these conditions should stay out of the groups. The first law of life is obedience. The mighty I Am presence 55. Come forth in thy infinite ascended master power. Protect, illumine, and control every young person in America and the world. Charge them with the ascended masters 5, perfect obedience to thy mighty presence. Blaze through them the full perfection of the Master Christ, grown to full stature, and be for them and all activity the only acting presence, power, and authority forever. Blessed young people of America and the world! We make the above call to the mighty I Am presence 5-5, assisted by the ascended masters, once an hour day and night, that the full joy of life may be yours, and the victory and success of the ascended masters be your only experience forever. You are the channels for their perfection to be expressed on earth in the new cycle we have already entered. We, their messengers, point the way to their light and give you strength and encouragement until you have made your application of the I Am presence 5-5 long enough to become anchored into the realization of what it can and will do for you. Then you can prove to yourself, through your own experiences, that it is the inexorable law of the universe. Try to realize that every thought, feeling, and spoken word is a rate of vibration registered in. The substance of your mind, body, and world is instantly recorded and must produce its fulfillment in your physical experience. In radio parlance, you are now broadcasting your own individual program of life and tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year. You will be the audience, who must listen to its effect and experience its results. Try to learn the wisdom and feel the mastery that is always experienced by perfect obedience to the law of life. Try to realize that the only one who has the right to command others is he who has first learned and given obedience to himself, the mighty I Am presence. Obedience is the first law of being, for the substance of light obeyed the command of intelligence to come forth from the great central sun before a universe could manifest. So it is with all individual activity. Obedience is the law of order. Without obedience of the lesser to the greater, the lesser never could become the greater. All that disobeys the law of harmony, which is the law of love, suffers until obedience to its infinite eternal authority is given lovingly, willingly, joyously, and with no reservations. Obedience does not mean slavery to human limitation, but it does mean continual, loving communion with your own mighty I Am presence. So close that its patterns of perfection are always the only designs that are poured out through you into the universal substance around you, and therefore the only experiences and creations in your world. The law of the mighty I Am presence is inflexible. It is the law of changeless perfection. Changeless in its quality, but ever expanding the quantity of its perfection throughout infinity. There is no happiness apart from this, for in the fullness of the presence is the accomplishment you desire. In the fullness of the presence are the things that you require. In Jesus' own words, I say to you, nothing is really important, but all of God. Blessed young people of America and the world! We ask your help for humanity and the world. Stand with all you are and have for the fulfillment of the ideal of the ascended masters made real and physically manifest on earth. It is the only activity in the universe that is worth the struggle and suffering of even one lifetime, let alone hundreds or perhaps thousands, that every individual has experienced on this planet. The ideal of the ascended masters is the law of ever-expanding perfection. It is practical, logical, satisfactory, joyous, consistent, worthy, perfect, and possible of attainment. It is the only real mastery there is. For by the ascended master, control of the energy flowing through one's mind and body, the individual becomes master of circumstance, victor over death, the supreme controlling presence everywhere he moves, Lord of life and the giver of all, the fullness of the mighty I Am presence forever. Future appearances of the messengers. Future appearances of the messengers.